Okay, I need to catch up from yesterday and then do today. Yesterday was day 42, today is day 41, so I'm doing 83 today. Social impact. I've had 4 serious relationships, and in 3 out of 4 of them, my clutter and messiness has bothered my significant other a lot. It's been an ongoing point of contention. Came up to 44, but I wanted to show you. So in this bag was this bag, and this bag, there's some precious stuff. This was one of my daughter's sweaters. It's just the most adorable ever sweater. My husband thinks this is creepy, but this was my baby doll when I was a baby. So you wind it up. For some reason, 3 out of 4 times I ended up with guys who like things neat and tidy. 2 of them were very, very type A about tidiness, which made for a lot of arguments and contention. Now, my 16-year-old daughter thinks of me as a messy mom, and she complains about my clutter, or says things like, "Why do I have to clean my room? Mom doesn't." I have 2 years before she leaves the house, and I want to turn that perception around. Why should it matter? Does the environment matter more to non-clutter people than to clutter people? I know that I hardly notice all of my clutter around me, and yet others definitely do. But when I think about it, I do notice their clutter, and it bothers me. Maybe because I'm working so hard to declutter to please them, or maybe because deep down I feel that my clutter is better than theirs, or more specifically that my clutter has a purpose and theirs doesn't. I watched this YouTube video called The Psychology of Clutter, a therapist's point of view by the Clutter Freak. The Clutter Freak. By the Clutter Fairy. The speaker was Rosa Glenn Riley. I thought it was funny that she used the term on the spectrum of managing clutter. This person is on the spectrum of managing clutter. That's a very PC way of saying that they're a clutter freak. She also said, on the spectrum of clutter being out of control for you. All right, we are 39 days to move to our new house, so I'm giving away 39 items. All right, so I had saved a lot of plastic bags because I was going to make baskets out of them. And so I'm going to give those away. I'm counting that as one item because most people would consider it trash, but to me it had some sentimental value, and so I'm counting it as one. And then this is a box full of arts and crafts, and I think I'll count it as like 5 items. There's more than 5 items, but I'm just going to consider it 5. So I'm going to say that I'm up to number 6 now. This was a planet project that I helped my daughter with. So this was the sun, this is the biggest, and then I don't know what planet this was, and then this one, This one was Saturn. And the Earth is around here somewhere. But as much time as it took to make these, and it took a lot of time, we're just not doing anything with these, and there's really no reason to keep them. So it was a fun project and fun memory, but now it's time to really put them in the trash pile because, well, there might be some yarn. We wrapped the yarn inside of these, so I could tear off the outside, the glued part, and then expose the yarn, and then be able to give that away. Or I can just throw it in the garbage. Okay, so this bag and the gift stuff inside of it are not important to me, so I'm giving them away. But this tag I do want to keep. This is from one of the doctors I used to work with, and she was pretty special to me. Darn it. Looks like I'm gonna rip it if I try to take it off. Well, in that case, I might have to rip Santa. That's too bad. It was a good Santa bag. Alright, well. There. Now I have my special tag from Dr. Wazacek. She called me Alita Zoe Maria. that's what it says. To Alita Zoe Maria. So I randomly found some more precious clothes of my daughter's, like this green St. Patty's Day shirt that she wore in a picture with me, and this sweater jacket that she wore a lot when she was little, just in a random unorganized drawer, so that's cool. I found the title paperwork to our house, our current house, so that's cool. That was in another random drawer, so alright guys, I have a lot of catching up to do. I worked really hard this week and I came home and I rested. So today is day 34 and my last day doing anything was day 39. So I have day 38, 37, 36, 35, and 34 to catch up on. So that means I am giving away 180 objects today. And I can totally do it because that's how much stuff I have. So let's get going. Being on the spectrum of clutter being out of control for you. I don't know, that sounds a little bit like victimization. It sounds like the clutter is the problem, not you. And let's just be frank and clear. If you create clutter, you are creating clutter. You are the problem. Or at least let's just say you're the source, you're the reason, you're the cause for the clutter. So I'm not going to pussyfoot around that. I claim my responsibility for this pile of clothes that I'm sitting on. But she is a therapist, and therapists have to be very delicate with their words. This is Karina's giveaway pile. She brought up some really good insights about what works inside the human psyche to cause clutter. And she said, you are going to be working with these very questions and issues of identity and what is important. And she's right. It is an issue of identity and it is an issue of what's important. And I'm going to get into her points now. There is a component of perfectionism, of ideals that you cannot meet, ideals that are so high that you cannot meet them. It has a paralyzing effect of seemingly illogical actions. I see that in myself when I want to organize a photo album, for example, but it can't just be me throwing pictures into an album. It has to be right. It has to be maybe not perfect, but as close to perfect as I can get it. So I have day 33, 32, 31, 30, or 29, 30, 29, 28, and 27 to do. So all of those together equals 210 items to give away today. So I am kind of cheating a little bit where this is a bag full of my nursing notes from nursing school. It's full of papers. And so I'm sure that there's at least 200 pages in there. And I think I'm going to allow myself to count this plastic bag full of nursing notes. Or I might count it as 100. So anyway, it's going to count for a lot because it is going to take a lot of work. I'm going to be going through it paper by paper and either tossing it if I think it's not important enough information, or scanning it with my cell phone and keeping that paper in a digital format so it doesn't take up space. So it is going to take a lot of work. So let's get to it.
Adios!
Adios! So I will spend maybe 2-3 years putting together the album which is chronologically accurate or which isn't missing the best pictures. What I really do is I will go through the thousands of pictures that I have to make sure that I am selecting the best pictures for the album. And then that's going to end up being like 600 pictures. So then I will go through and weed out what are the best pictures out of those 600 and keep going smaller and smaller until I have the best 200 or whatever will fit into that album. And so that ends up being digital clutter. If those pictures were in hard copy, then you can imagine that I would have the work in progress photo album on my desk with organized or not organized piles of photos surrounding it in mid-process of that project for years. And maybe I get sidetracked and think of a different project I want to do, and that yarn project, for example, has the same psychology applied to it, and it ends up on another part of the counter for years, and this just adds up. And you have multiple piles in different places because you are working on multiple projects. So there really is a component of perfectionism to it. And she's absolutely right, and I see that. I get it. So she says there's a paralyzing effect of seemingly illogical actions. And I think we can agree, hopefully if I explained it well enough, that some of those actions are seemingly illogical while you're leaving this photo album out for that long when you've moved on to your yarn project, but your photo project isn't done yet, so it sits there untouched, gathering dust literally for 3 months while your mind is stuck on the yarn project. So look at your life. If you have issues with clutter, or if you're on the spectrum of clutter being an issue for you, ask yourself if your perfection is causing you to keep too many things. If your perfection has paralyzed you, just consider, what do you gain from making that project complete and perfect? And what do you lose by making that project complete and perfect? How much time do you lose? How many other opportunities do you lose by spending time on that thing? How much stress does it cause? How much stress does it cause you and the people living with you? In the end, when that project is complete and as perfect as you can make it, how much joy will it really bring you? Will you even look at it again? Will you spend any time looking at it, using it, enjoying it after it's actually complete? I know that so many of the projects that I spent so much time on, I was happy when I had finished the project, and it was something I didn't have to look at feeling like it wasn't right. And yet, I have almost never picked up those projects again and admired them or used them. They're just one more perfect thing that's put in the box, ignored, not looked at, and honestly, not cared about, not even by myself. And also not really by the others that I often made it for. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's worth it, but many times I'm the only one who cares to make it perfect. And then once it's perfect, I don't care about it anymore, and all it represents is wasted time. So really take a moment to look. Look at what you're spending your time on, and look at the clutter that you're required to keep to work on those projects. Think of what your life would be like without that project. If your life is just fine without that project, sometimes even better, then maybe it's time to just give that project away. Or even, as crazy as it sounds, some things just belong in the garbage. So consider those things, and hopefully this video serves as an inspiration to clean up your life, clean up your clutter, and clean up your time. Thanks for watching.